it is really interesting, and I look at this from my marketing PR background of how they're being positioned on social media. The social media team have expertly crafted them to look like brothers and best friends, and being like that. There is this united front and this friendship, and I think it's important to realize that this is social media marketing.
Yeah.
I'm Elle. And I'm Pat, and we are Paddock 43.
And this is your F1 fix.
Welcome back to the state.
Happy Tuesday. Oh, to the state. Oh, yes, I have been away. I was about to say a different country. I was just in a different state for less than 24 hours. Before we get into the episode, I would just like to read some news that just popped up on Twitter. X, for all the folk out there. It's still Twitter to me because I'm still old school. Christian Horner has announced his immediate departure from Red Bull Racing to take mental health leave. The former team principal cites a toxic work environment which has made him feel uninvolved and unloved around women in his team. Fucking fake news.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, you're going to scare the audience.
I'm scared. No, I think a lot of people would be very happy about that situation. Oh, I don't know if people would be happy because I think Red Bull is Red Bull, but...
some people like
the amount of fake news accounts that I somehow am getting notifications for at the moment, and they're confusing the hell out of me. I posted something on our Instagram the other day and someone replied back saying, that's fake news.
What was it?
I can't even remember. It was something to do with an infringement and about Carlos Sainz or something or another.
Not his poo infringement.
No, and
poop infringement.
It was about the China Grand Prix, and it was just so well done. The fake news, and I was like, how? I get it. AI, but also people are just skilled in coming up with ideas themselves. But it's getting too out of hand.
It is getting.
I need everyone to stop the fake news.
Yeah,
I can't keep up. You have to be on social media 24/7 to understand the real news. That's all I'm saying.
The end.
Hi.
Happy
Bahrain.
Happy Saudi week.
Oh, yes, we're back in Jeddah.
We're back in Jeddah this week, but we just are off the back of
Bahrain,
GP.
So we're on the last leg of a triple header, which is fantastic.
Drivers, how you feeling? Teams, how you feeling? Are you tired? Yeah.
It's been quite...
We're also tired because it was the first late night of the season.
I know. Can we talk about the fact that, everyone on the other side of the world, and if you're listening on the other side of the world, and you're all complaining those first few races, and you're like, oh, it's so hard. I can't believe I have to get up at
wake up at 3 a.m.
Okay, I'd like to paint a picture for you. It's 12:30 at night on a Sunday, and you're like, I have work in the morning. I've committed to a gym class, but I'm going to stay up because the race starts in 30 minutes. You're trying desperately to stay up. Keep your eyes open. And then your eyes, they're open. You're watching the race, but then all you can watch is Sky Sports. And that is a UK broadcast. And all they care about is the British drivers. They miss half the turns.
Yeah.
They are, oh my God. And you stay up and you're like, what was this for?
Also, isn't this great? We're back at a normal time.
It's not a normal time. And also, you pretty much missed Oscar's win.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Okay.
Mind-blowing.
I'm sure.
We'll unpack that.
It's a global sport, but cool. No, you do your thing in the UK, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm tired, don't fuck with me.
Okay, well, let's start with some news. Elle, do you want to kick it off?
Yes, kicking it off with that it is rumoured Jack's doing. I was about to say stewing.
Jack's doing.
It's looking like he actually will remain for the rest of the year. Rumours have come around the paddock this weekend just gone. So that's exciting for him.
I'm very exciting.
Very happy for
Also, that
Mr.
debunks you when you were like, he's going to be out by Japan. She was very drunk.
I mean, but we were all said that. We were all angling for that. Now, also in the other news, F1 Las Vegas is going hard on their ticket pricing and advertising for that. The amount of ads I'm being serviced is insane. If you work in digital marketing, the frequency rate's really, really high.
What is frequency rate?
It just means you're seeing that ad multiple times a day.
How much do you reckon they're paying for that advertising?
Oh, it'd be in the hundreds of thousands. Like, probably more because they're doing global advertising. The frequency rate is quite high. But the thing is, they are now advertising payment plans. So...
Oh, no. People going into debt just to go to
yeah, they really are, like, banging on the fact that they're trying to sell out and get more people involved. And, you know, they're offering payment plans. And payment plans are the best thing for everyone, especially going to Vegas. If you probably need a payment plan...
Think about how much money they're going to be...
Should you be going to Vegas?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, gosh, there's going to be so many people that are going to fall into a debt. Oh, I don't like... This sounds icky. Icky is the word.
I saw the ad this morning and I felt icky.
Yeah, it sounds icky.
It didn't feel great. So if you are seeing that, look, honestly, I was like, for a second, I was like, ooh, I could do that. And then I was like, hang on. No.
We pull you back into
Rein
reality.
it in. Pay your afterpay first, which is like $400. In other news, Jackie Stewart, I should say.
Stewart this weekend. Oh,
this was
my God.
the most beautiful thing. So a few years ago, I believe it was, probably 10 years ago now, Jackie's wife was diagnosed with dementia. And I believe it's been getting progressively worse. But in all the modern technology that we've had, there has been no cure. Yeah. Like so many other very sad illnesses around, around the world that everyone suffers with. So Jackie's family, his kids in particular, reached out to the FIA and said, hey, during Bahrain, we'd love to get Dad in his Tyrrell from the 1973 championship. So I just had to look at my phone to make sure what year that was. And to do 2 laps. And he didn't go fast. He had a safety car in front of him. He was in his suit. He had help getting in and out of the car. But the special part was the helmet.
Yeah.
So it was signed by all living world champions. Corinna, Michael Schumacher's wife, helped Michael sign, which was very beautiful. And I think a lot of people...
Major goosebumps.
Yeah, a lot of people had insight then into Michael.
Yeah.
If his wife is signing for him, which was... also just a little bit sad, but it was beautiful. And Jackie's family have all said that this helmet, it's priceless.
I was just about to
they
say,
are
priceless.
about to work out what they're going to do with it, whether they're going to have a global auction or a global raffle. It's going to, so then you buy a $20 ticket and it's open globally, and then all of that money, the proceeds will go to dementia research. No, they said 20.
Oh.
Yeah. They said 20 because they expect that many people to buy tickets.
Like they'd rather more.
And then
I was going to say, for those that don't know, he does have a charity called Drive for Dementia.
Yeah, and if they do this, they're not going to do it until the end of the year because they want to see if there will be a new world champion this year. So they don't want to miss out. So I think they're
going to sign that helmet.
Yeah, so I think they're saying we believe that Oscar Orlando will probably sign that helmet, wearing my McLaren hat for the boys today.
I said to Elle, I was like, I was planning on wearing my McLaren hat, and then I did not. And also, we'd look like idiots if we were both like...
Well, I've never worn this hat before, and honestly, I feel... You know what?
You feel orange?
I feel orange. And wearing this hat, I go, I'm so grateful for Principal, the label.
Doll, you've still got the price sticker in there.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
I didn't even pay for this. I got
I know. Yeah, well, there's a barcode sticker in there.
There's literally a barcode. Yeah, look, I'm very happy for my for Principal the label offering merchandise that doesn't look like merchandise.
And Paddock.
And Paddock, of course, as well.
The Principal and the Paddock hats are nice. This hat is orange.
It feels cheap.
Yeah.
It feels so cheap. I actually did say, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. So we are looking at Principal to do two new hats, an Oscar and Orlando hat. And we're trying to be like our Lewis hat. So if anyone's got suggestions here, because I'm putting it out to everyone. Okay,
do you know what? This hat is definitely better than that atrocious yellow and green hat that Oscar wears.
So I put it out to our audience. I said, do you want the hat? So it's like Lewis hat. You can look it up in Principal. The label is like in red, just Lewis, and then it's like a red and white hat. I put it out to the audience. I said, do you want it in orange or do you want it in black if it said Oscar Orlando? And everyone said orange. And I was like, people really...
Yeah, because I think people still want merch the colour of their team.
But I can't fit this into my everyday life.
Yeah, but no, it goes great. If you had a cool orange hat. Also, actually, sorry, this is a conversation that could be taken offline, but my mum has a very cool, like, orange hat from Miss Frankie in Byron, and it's like more of like a pastel orange, and it goes with a lot of things.
Okay, maybe we'll look at that.
Okay.
Anyway, in other news, it has just been announced also that George Russell is set to sign a 2-year extension with Mercedes, so he will be insufferable for another 2 years. Mercedes thinking that he is the number one driver, but also
savage.
We may get more than topless things of him in the driver's room.
That wasn't him. Oh, he was topless, but then Lando was like naked.
Yeah, then he took photos of Lando being naked. It was George knew what he was doing. He was giving the people
weird
something to look at.
It was very strange. No, good on George for signing. I mean, yeah, you don't love him that much, but I'm quite happy.
I love him. I just think he is a twat.
He's been performing really well, and there's every now and then we get those weird rumblings that like, oh, potentially Max Verstappen would go to Mercedes, and and we all know that how Toto feels for those that have watched as well the new season of Drive to Survive, and how he was really trying to get Max, and I just adore Kimi. I adore him. I'm like, oh, he's one of my new favourite drivers, and I think that George and Kimi make an incredible team. So I like that George has signed for the next few years, because this means hopefully that there's no Max, and that
I reckon they're the sort of team that will probably stay like that for quite some time.
And I hope they do, because they have, if that car improves, then there is the potential that they be drivers' constructors' champions.
Time will tell. Social corner. Pat's social time. Gossip.
Social time to gossip. Not a lot going on, but it was funny. I don't know if you saw before Bahrain GP, Kimi. So Kimi Antonelli, as you all know, got his license recently. Then he got given his company car. It was a Mercedes GT.
Did you hear how he got his license?
GT63, yes.
Yeah, and he illegally obtained his license.
No, so what
is this what you're about to talk about?
Well, he illegally is the car. Technically, he can't drive the car.
Yeah, but he got his license elsewhere, so he could drive it.
No. So basically,
right?
It's similar. So I think basically what happened is, so this car, similar to like in Australia, I think when you're in your Ps, there are certain cars that you can't drive.
Yeah, you can't.
Peter actually had a Golf GTR, and there was a loophole. And he could drive that. But technically he wasn't supposed to drive it, but there was a loophole. And this is what Peter's my husband, this is what Kimi has done as well. He's done this loophole. So initially the car, under Italian laws, he couldn't drive the car. So it said under Italian laws, you can't drive the car for 3 years. But then what he did is that the car is registered under...
Yeah, isn't it San Marino?
San Marino.
Yeah, and that's where he got his license from.
And because the car, they've like done a cheeky, and this, do you know what? I know that Mercedes would have obviously done all this for him. They've done this cheeky little, registered the car under San Marino so he can drive the car now.
Yeah. And then they gave him a license from San Marino as well.
Yeah, so lucky little young boy gets to have the loophole. So good on him, gets to enjoy his company car. That'd be nice. That's your first car that you're driving.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Must be very nice.
But also, I don't know if you saw it. I mean, you were very busy over the weekend, but I don't know if you saw after Bahrain GP all these rumours and like gossip about apparently the GP was over, everyone was packing up, and there was a Sky News commentator walking in the paddock, and they heard...
Which one?
I don't know. They just said Sky News commentator. Okay. Yeah, so it was just, I don't know if it was one of the main commentators, but basically they said that they overheard yelling. None other than Max Verstappen's manager.
I thought you were going to say Max was yelling. Wait, his manager was yelling about what?
So his manager, well, we don't really know, but he was yelling. This is what I read. Verstappen's manager, Raymond Vermeulen, was spotted in a furious confrontation with Helmut Marko.
Interesting.
Yes, very unhappy. And look, obviously we didn't see Max.
I wonder why they would be yelling with each other.
Well, Max didn't do very well in the race.
Yeah.
But
again, so you reckon Helmut Marko caused a fight? Oh, that's interesting. Because I keep thinking about, if you haven't listened to our interview with Luke Smith, definitely go back and listen to that. Because we asked him, we said, hey, how does it work being ethical in journalism when you are working with people that are not ethical, i.e. Helmut Marko? Because any other company, you'd get the boot if you were him.
Yeah.
But apparently the rule is he can't get booted from F1 because he's actually employed by Red Bull, like the drinks company.
Yeah.
But then I was like, also
speaking
like...
Speaking of loopholes, Red Bull
I was
Energy
like,
Drinks employs him.
why is the energy drink company then not getting rid of him, having him represent
Loophole.
him? But so that's...
Loophole.
Yeah.
Yep, loophole.
Interesting. Like, that's what always makes me think, Helmut, why are you so involved?
I know, it blows my mind. He's like the overbearing, like, I don't know, stage mum or something. But not even stage mum, like stage friend. Stage friend, yeah. So
he's that annoying person that's like a fan of something that's just always there and providing his opinion, and no one cares for it, and he's getting in the way of everyone else. That's what he is.
Correct. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, Max didn't do very well over the weekend. I don't know if you saw that clip of him. I can't remember what lap it was, but he basically did a burnout mid-race pretty much, because he sort of spun out and then he like did a burnout. And, wow, angry Max. But yeah, I mean, we've seen these rumblings from last year where Max and his team are just unimpressed and unhappy, and they're not happy with the car and how the car is performing. And I think that Max's days at Red Bull are numbered.
I mean, okay. We've said this before that we've heard the rumour.
Not this season.
No, I don't think it's this season, but I wonder if it's just a retirement thing, because he'll just want to go to a team that's winning as well. And
correct.
McLaren probably, I don't know if they'd take him, because I think they're pretty happy with their drivers at the moment. That would be ballsy.
Depends
but
what Lando
also,
does this year.
So apparently, I said a few weeks ago that we had heard that Kelly was supposed to be due now, and that Max would probably be missing a race. So it's now come out that she's actually not due for it's during a break or something like that when she's due.
Oh.
So that Max will not be missing any.
Do you reckon their pregnancy was like super planned? As in, like...
Nah, I don't think it was planned.
No?
No. I don't think it was planned, but I think they're...
Because how is that, for divine timing?
They might have a planned C-section or...
Yeah, or induction
or something like that. Yeah.
But the thing as well is, like...
And they're rich enough, they can afford any sort of medical treatment.
But you can definitely plan a C-section or plan an induction, but also, like, within reason.
Oh, I'm sure if she went to spontaneous labour, it'd be different. But, yeah, so I think Max is not going to miss any races. But then I did listen on a few other F1 podcasts, because we listen to other ones because we support each other.
We do.
That a lot of theories saying that Max might retire after the end of this year.
Yeah.
That
I wouldn't put it past him.
He might just
retire for a while.
See you later. And come back
live
and
his
do
dad's
something
life and then come back 2 years
else.
later.
I think it's more of a aspect of that he's not happy with the sport and where it's going.
Yeah.
And I kind of get that. I see that frustration.
Yeah.
He seems to be more frustrated. Obviously, he's not winning, so even when he is winning, he's frustrated.
I just think...
But they're not happy with the FIA. They're having a lot of issues there.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton snubbed...
Mohammed Ben Sulayem.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
from the FIA.
He was, like, going to hug him, and he was just like...
Lewis was like, no, see you later. The vice president, Robert, he also resigned last week because he said he didn't agree with their principles and ethics anymore. So I think that was a really telling scenario.
Yeah.
I've actually reached out to Robert and have asked him to come on the podcast. So fingers crossed, because that will be a very interesting conversation. Though
I'm sure when we get snubbed, is all of F1 going to be like, fuck these girls?
Yeah. We're going to have no one to talk about soon.
We want the juice. I always think, like, the fact that Lewis Hamilton snubbed him, like, you're in such a place of privilege compared to, like, the younger drivers that are just trying to prove themselves and, like, don't want to piss anyone off, because if we piss someone off, we might. But Lewis is just in a league of his own where he's like, yeah, I kind of rule this sport.
Yeah, because he also knows it'll mean something. That is, like...
And that's why, as well, I guess we see, like, all the older drivers, like, speaking up about it. Like, the fact that George kind of found his voice towards the end of last year. He was like, well, nothing's going to happen to me. Like, I'm good. I'm in Toto's pocket. Like, we're good. I can talk up about the FIA.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
All right, do you have any more other gossip for your social corner?
No, that's pretty much it, really.
So we should probably dive in
to race weekend.
Bahrain,
baby.
I was about to say Qatar, but
hey,
no,
do you have
Bahrain?
Do you have one word to describe it?
One word to describe Bahrain.
Well, actually, I have 3 words.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was excellent. I was going to say
especially after Japan.
Lack of grip.
Oh, yes.
There was no grip all weekend. Everyone's like, grip. There's no grip.
Everyone was complaining about their tyres, weren't they? But they were happy on the medium tyres,
yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
But Martin Brundle was like this. He was like touching the track, and he's like, this track is older than than a few of the drivers on the grid. And as you can see, it's very gravelly and yeah, I was thinking it'd hurt to fall down on that track.
Oh, really? Is that gravelly?
I think, yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, I haven't felt it myself, but that's what Martin was doing. And for those that can't see,
I wonder when they're going to resurface that, because they sometimes don't even like having a newly resurfaced grid.
But to circle back, yes, very happy with Bahrain compared to an exciting race after what we had in Japan last week.
Thank the Lord.
Thank the Lord for an exciting race, an exciting weekend. I want us to go to Bahrain.
I know. I'd love to go. It just looks, I don't know, that and Baku
such
would
a
be
vibe.
amazing as well.
Such a vibe, yeah. Very, and just, I don't know, I feel like it's one of those races that you are really like 100% focusing on what's going on in the race. Like I think, you know, there's pros and cons with that sort of stuff, and especially with a lot of the people that we know within the F1 world and how they say, like, we love coming to Melbourne because it's such a vibe and like the fans, and I'm so proud of that. The GP has like built so much, and that, you know, we've spoken about this where there is something for everyone, and that's all well and good, and it is a lot of fun. But I do think that there are those races where you just get to focus on the racing. And I think that's the thing about Bahrain is like you are really focusing on the racing, the driving, the strategy, like everything. Track. And it's a good track. And also, I mean,
you're not watching Sky News.
Yeah. And I always say this as well, that like, because we do have Bahrain testing, I just think you get to have like, you go into it with like a little bit more of a fresh mind. So anyway, that's me with Bahrain.
That's intake on
that's
Bahrain.
My intake in Bahrain.
So what is it, if you had to pick the first thing that you wanted to talk about Bahrain in that weekend, I know what mine would be. What would yours be?
Oscar.
So happy
Oscar,
for you.
Yes. Well,
I mean, we didn't even see you on half the time on the broadcast because you're so far ahead that no one wanted to watch you. It was giving Max Verstappen energy when he used to do that every single race. And they just stopped filming him. They just checked in.
I have said that before. Max
every
Verstappen
5-10 minutes.
I know.
Yep.
No.
Oscar's still there.
Oscar's still there. Yep. Oscar's still ahead. Yes, he's still ahead. Well, yes, he did take pole position, which was very exciting. And obviously we knew that would be converted into a win. There was no shadow of a doubt. I was like bummed that the Ferraris didn't get the pole, but I was like, if someone's going to get the pole that's not a Ferrari, extremely happy it's Oscar. He had such phenomenal pace over the weekend. I always talk about Ferrari, bummer, because I actually think that Charles drove really well. So for those that didn't see it, he qualified P2. Ferrari had an okay strategy, but there was a safety car towards like the last quarter of the race.
Yeah, that one.
Carlos.
Everyone was like, "What is this actually for?" Because the debris looked like nothing, and they took forever.
And then the debris looked like nothing, and then randomly you see Carlos's car, and he's got like. This massive hole in the car that's like the size of like two basketballs.
But this is what I'm
They're
saying.
like, yep.
They missed so much of the broadcast. This is because we're all looking, being like, what is this safety car for?
Yeah.
And they're
exactly. I know. They missed it, and then I read. I was like, wait, what? Carlos has got like a 3-place grid penalty for Jeddah, and so it was an incident with Antonelli. I was like, I didn't see this incident at all. I did not see it. I was like, what did you do to Antonelli? Like, not happy, Carlos. You leave him alone.
You know
I'm
what?
protective about my rookies now.
Yeah.
Don't mess with them.
I know. They're like our children.
Yeah.
One of the other issues that I had with Bahrain, and obviously, they didn't show that incident, so none of us were aware what happened. It was something else that we didn't know, but this is the FIA's issue, is that during qualifying, Nico Hülkenberg, he finished P13, and then 45 minutes later... when, they're already into Q3, they go, actually, sorry, his lap time got deleted. But they decided it 45 minutes later.
Yeah, that was awful.
Alex Albon could have gone through. It's like, what's the even point 45 minutes later of qualifying? Like, you've just ruined it for everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, that's just dumb.
Like, you've ruined it for everyone that's in that mid section that could have easily qualified. I know it was very unfair,
like,
and it's just like
later. I'm sorry,
and
just
especially
let it slide.
Yeah, just let it slide, especially because you know, at that point, like, Alex could have easily qualified like 6th or something. You know, he could have done it really well. And also, Pierre Gasly.
Oh, yes. Well done.
So well. So he qualified P4, which was amazing. The Alpines had like pretty decent pace this weekend.
The thing that I'm loving so far about this season, that everyone has the potential to get points.
Yeah.
Everyone really does, unless you Lance Stroll.
Literally. I'm like, every race, I'm like, wop. I'm like, Gabriel is doing better than you, Lance. Like, not to say that Gabriel doesn't have potential.
It is just nice to see this mix in the grid that everyone actually has the potential. Except for
Lance Stroll. Also, well done, Yuki. Yuki scored points for the Red Bull. Well done. Jack Doohan did relatively well as well.
He's doing all right, yep. Lando Norris had an excellent start. Really, really great start. But
Wait. Not when he rolled over the line though.
No.
After that. Yeah, he did have an excellent start, and then it just...
And then he got his penalty.
And then it just went downhill.
Because Lando had an excellent start, and then Max was like, no, that's wrong. Everyone was like, oh my God, that was Lando's best start ever. But it was in too high of a gear.
Oh, he was in gear and he started rolling forward. They're and when, you know, sometimes they'll investigate something when a car is over the line. For those that don't know what we're talking about, obviously there's little lines, almost like a race, like a running race, and the car has to be behind the line. And every now and then there's I think this has happened multiple times with Lando. But they're like, is the car over the line or not? You know, they have to really investigate and look at it.
With him, actually.
He was I don't even know, half a metre over the line.
Yeah.
It was just
It's happened a lot.
I'm surprised that they didn't pull that up quicker, because there would have been...
No, because it was Bahrain. They weren't pulling anything up quicker.
Yeah, true. But I'm but even spectators, literally, if I was watching that start, I would have been excuse me. Someone's
over there.
Not that he's purposely cheating. Obviously, yeah. But
me standing in my street being you can't park there.
Oh my God, I want to yell at every single person that's parked on this street. This morning I was like, Elle, who is this stupid BMW?
Oh no, I love that you're invested in the parking on my street as well, whereas I've been out there all morning complaining already.
Oh, that's
in between little work moments.
Yeah, but on the topic of Lando, incredibly disappointing.
Do you reckon?
Yes. Elle, I'm sorry, but that car had so much pace. Okay, that should have been a 1-2. It wasn't.
Yeah, but
McLaren had good strategy.
5-second penalty, and he started P6?
But but he had pace. Okay. He had pace. The only thing...
So I think he did all right. I'm like,
Nah. I think he didn't... I don't think he performed very well at all. And I think he had the potential to perform. They had the potential... Kind. Yeah, you're being way too kind. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit hypercritical
maybe
of
you're
Lando.
A bitch today.
I'm hyper, or maybe just to Lando. I'm just hypercritical of him because, I do love him, but I just think he has the potential. And I think it would be frustrating as a team because every single one of these points are crucial. And now, after this weekend, Lando's only 2 points ahead of Oscar in the drivers. So 1,000%, I think by next weekend, Oscar's going to be on top. The only reason if he wouldn't be on top is if Max Verstappen wins next weekend, which I don't know. We'll get into that. But yeah, Lando's...
They actually reckon there's a lot of tension brewing in the McLaren team.
1,000%. I've said this. I'm give it a few more races. Lando's going to fuck things up. It's starting to get to him. It's starting to get in his head because Oscar's beating him.
And I've been thinking about this. So obviously we're hearing rumours and that there is tension brewing in the McLaren garage between Lando and Oscar. And obviously Lando, 2 points in front of the World Championship. But we're only a few races into the season. A bit over a few, sorry. Four. And it is really interesting, and I look at this from my marketing PR background of how they're being positioned on social media. The social media team have expertly crafted them to look like brothers and best friends, and being that there is this united front and this friendship. And I think it's important to realise that this is social media marketing.
Yeah.
just look out for all the signs. It's interesting because you look at it on social media and you go, they just look so great together. They're like brothers. And look, there might be an element of there, but also this is still a competition at the end of the day.
Yeah. Something that I always think, and maybe for the listeners just to pick, it's always nice to like look at, you know, because I was literally thinking this exact same thing when I was going through McLaren's Instagram page. Same thing. Make them look like brothers. Oh, these like special moments. Look at all the other F1 pages. Like not F1, but like the fan pages or just, you know, the kind of news pages. Look at what they post. Because that's where you see the little nuggets of, ooh, that looked a bit awkward. Or like, ooh, that comment that was made in the warm-up room, in the cool-down room, that was a bit weird. Like the little comments that Lando makes to Oscar in the cool-down room, you can see that Lando...
Lando even comments on the social media pages and he goes, no, that's because admin made us do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're offering to do it. It's part of their contract.
Yeah, I feel bad. Like, I always shit on Lando. I genuinely really do like Lando. I think he is... In terms of like personality, he's probably one of the drivers that gives us the most. He's incredibly funny. I love that he has a bit of a life outside of F1, but he's open. But I do think that, and this is something that I've said time and time again, is that in sports as well, something that makes someone a world champion versus someone that doesn't, and this is the same thing about Daniel Ricciardo, is Daniel Ricciardo was a phenomenal driver, but Daniel Ricciardo also invested in his own personal life and had a bit of fun and lived his life, which is great. Michael Jordan, the reason why Michael Jordan was such an incredible basketball player is because, and the same with Kobe Bryant, is because lived and breathed basketball. Literally, like, didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't party, didn't do the things, would wake up. Kobe Bryant would like wake up early, train before the pre-training started, and that is the difference. And this is the kind of mentality and energy that Max Verstappen has, and it's the kind of energy and mentality that Oscar has. And there's no right or wrong. It just depends what's important to you. I think it's important to like invest in your own personal life,
gotta say,
but also if you want to be the best of the best of the best of the best, like remember the images last year when Lando Norris was celebrating King's Weekend. Oh yeah. Loved that. And you know, cut his lip, and it was hilarious because we were like, oh, his head, his nose, whatever. I was like, yes, love that you're living your life and having fun. But it's like, what is more, there's no right or wrong, it's just like what is more important. I personally think you should live your life, but
I'd actually, as much as I want Oscar to be world champion, I would love to see Lando break that stereotype.
Me too.
And become world champion and show that you can still have a life.
Yeah, and it's not to say he can't.
That's important for people to see as well, because not everyone is that super hyper focused and dialed into the one thing that they're doing. And
I should mention as well, it's not like Lando isn't headstrong and focused and all that. Absolutely he is. He's working his ass off. But, you know, anyway, I'm sorry to shit on you. But moving on, with Charles Leclerc, I wanted to say I think he did phenomenal. I think that Ferrari had a great strategy up until the safety car. I don't know why they put hards on. So that was not great for Ferrari. Anyway, also Lewis Hamilton, not very happy with the Ferraris.
No, he's not happy at the moment, is he?
He's like, what is wrong with these tyres? Like, yes, Lewis, everyone hates the tyres. It's okay.
Yeah. Look, I think there was a lot of complaints, but anyway. Shall we move on?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one quick thing about Ollie Behrman. Did you hear his message when he got? I think he came 10th in the end, but his dad, his engineer jumped on the radio, was talking to him. Then his dad jumped on. And he was like, "Ollie, so proud of you."
It was his dad and his brother,
and then he's like, "I love you," and he's like, "Thanks, Dad." And then his brother chimes into it. He's like, "Yeah, Ollie," and he's like, "Oh, whole family's here." I was like, it was so kind and like so beautiful that Haas team were able to like get them on. So that was
we never really get those sort of things.
No.
Yeah.
But anyway, any random moments of the week?
Oh, look, honestly, the random moment of the week was really just how poor performing Sky Sports was for me. It's not that random. It was just a frustration of a thing because they're Sky Sports. They should know better.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Yeah. Without getting in trouble.
Yep. I had 2 random moments. I don't know if you saw on the fam stage Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton talking about how they were playing chess late at night in bed, and everyone's like, what? They're like, no, we were playing on our phones, and I think they both, it was a cute little moment. They both finished on like 4-4, and then they were like, nah, we have to keep playing until someone wins. And Lewis was like, geez, these moves are good. They're really good. I'm going to cheat. And then they were both playing and cheating. And then I just thought that was like a cute little bromance. And also, did you see Antonelli's Adidas cooling jacket? I want one.
No.
So all the drivers before the race are wearing like their cooling vests, and then everyone's like, are you okay? Looking at Antonelli, he has this like silver, almost like astronaut jacket on. And he's like, it's a cooling jacket. And it's sick.
Oh my God.
Yes. You need to have a look at it. So it's like this silver, he literally looked like an astronaut going to space, but it was a cooling jacket.
Antonelli.
Cooling
jacket. I'm just looking this up right now. Oh, that's one that George Russell's been wearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cooling jacket. Well, we're wrapping up that triple header this week. We're in Saudi Arabia. So last year on the podium, we had Max Verstappen, Checo, and Charles Leclerc.
I think that was Checo's last podium, wasn't it?
I know. I think it was one of his. Actually, did you see, by the way, all this, like I was on social media looking at all this Bahrain content coming through, and then I was like, oh, Checo's posted, and he just posted like him sitting on the couch watching the Masters, the golf.
Did you watch any of the Masters?
I did not.
It was actually so great.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
There's something special. I know we're talking about F1 right now, but I just need to say, if anyone listened to the Masters, you will get this. I love the rule of no phones.
Yeah,
I love the rule
Agreed.
of how it's not a rule, but like the tradition.
The tradition
of it. The commentary is excellent. The scenery, the broadcast, everything about it is beautiful.
I know, that is one
and
thing.
it is so great to watch. And then Roy McIlroy winning the Masters finally. It's just
that's something
good
that I love
time,
about.
and it made me love golf.
Yeah, I was going to say, something I love about golf is the tradition. Like my uncle.
Don't get me wrong, I love the idea of live golf as well. But
Yeah.
this is the polar opposite.
I know. I love the tradition of golf. Like my uncle's like massive into golf. Venezuela is very close to Miami. My uncle has a place in Miami, and like where he lives is on a golf course. It's like kind of a golf club community.
Why aren't we going to go stay with your uncle?
I know, we should. Well, we can always go stay there. It's very nice.
Wait, but for Miami Grand Prix?
I know. It's not like, it's still like 40 minutes to like the centre of Miami, but we probably could go stay there. Yeah, we could easily stay there. We just need a car.
That's easy to get.
Yeah.
Accommodation is a hard thing to get.
Actually,
oh my
we could go
God.
stay
Okay,
there.
so we are now looking for places to go to Miami Grand Prix.
But the thing is, it's like so traditional. And I remember I was like a little girl. I was probably like 7 or something, and we'd go to the club. And they'd be like, no, she can't enter because she's in jeans. My mum was like, she's a child. We're like, no, she can't enter. And I'm like, I love that tradition. The oldies, it's all very like geriatrics.
Imagine F1 could never.
F1 could never.
Anyway, so Jeddah predictions. It's going to be Oscar Orlando winning for me. I think there's going to be a real battle. I think
there might be some tension.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that tension unfold a little bit. I don't know who it's going to be.
I'm really hoping, I keep saying this every week, but I'm like, Charles podium. 1,000% there will be a Charles podium. I just don't know where he'll be.
Yeah. I reckon it might be a Lewis podium. I reckon he'll be
that'd be nice.
Yeah. I think Lewis will come third.
I'd be happy with that.
Yep. That's my prediction.
Love it. Well, I'm excited. But green flag, red flag of your week.
Oh, I have a few green flags.
It's good.
And
good
that's
week.
good. So I'm just going to
last week you had a few red flags.
Yeah, so
this is good.
I'm just going to do green flags because I'm having a green flag week.
Love
so
it.
On Saturday, I did a drive day with a few people, and it was excellent. So essentially, I got invited. There was a big group of people that were taking out their sports cars around Victoria. And look, don't come for me, but it was supposed to just be a boys thing. And I got invited on the condition I could shoot. I know it sounds really bad, but that was it. Traditions.
But do you know, I know.
It
also,
was so
I'm like,
much fun.
sometimes I'm like, I just want a girls' day.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the boys just wanted to boy, and anyway, so I dressed like a boy, and I acted like a boy, and I
very jealous of the cars and the pastries.
Yeah, so
I was like, Elle, send me photos of the cars that you're with.
Obviously with a lot of Italians as well, they came along, and so they bought all the Brunetti's croissants, which was fantastic. But we were surrounded by different classes of 911s. We had Maseratis, Aston Martins, a couple of Ferraris. I was technically in Spotter's car, so I was looking out for the popo up in front, and then also I pulled to the side, so I was in my friend's Mercedes GLE AMG, which she loves to make some noise in that one. I did get very car sick at one point driving up the mountain.
It's really bad car sickness.
It was really, really bad. Really, really bad. I nearly had to pull over, asking Richard to pull over and so I could have a little spew. And then we went and got me some travel sickness tablets. Yeah. And I bought an over-the-counter brand rather than getting like the branded brand that I usually get.
Original
and brand. Yeah. And they made me pass out. So I fell asleep.
That sounds lovely.
I was like the fact that I'm like asleep in the back of a sports car.
Al's just there. Please pull you over. Is she okay? You're like...
It just knocked me out. But I think it's also because I made myself so sick by being in a passenger seat. And the reason for that was because I wasn't qualified to, these cars weren't under my name for insurance purposes. Yeah. So that's why I didn't drive them. But yeah, it was excellent. And then my other green flag is I just got back from Sydney where, sometimes traveling for work is really hard and you go, I really can't be bothered. Especially having to leave like on a Sunday at lunchtime, you're like, ugh, fuck this. And then get up at 3 a.m. for a photo shoot, that's what I was dealing with. So in my head, I was like being negative. It was the best shoot I've ever done of my life. And I'm so excited for these images to come out. What about you?
My green flag, pretty basic, but I finally went back to the gym. Remember, I had a hiatus. I was like, oh my God, I hadn't gone for so long because after OzGP. And anyway, so I've had a few sessions and it's just been really nice getting back into like hot mat Pilates. Yeah. So that's probably my green flag. My red flag, I can't think of one right now, which is good. Probably trying to find a car park on your street this morning.
Yeah. That's also that's probably my red flag.
And also I'm just congested and I think it's hay fever and so it's very annoying.
Better be hay fever, I'm going to kill you.
No, but I remember for like 2 weeks I'm like, oh, Elle, I think I'm getting sick and nothing's eventuated from it. So I'm like, it has to be hay fever.
All right, we're going with that one.
Yeah, but anyway, I think next week we'll be back in our roving studio. And
no, we won't. I'm away next week.
No, we won't.
We're on Riverside next week.
Oh my God, sorry, I lied. It's Easter next week.
Yeah. But
actually, that's my green flag, my red flag. How is it already Easter? What the hell?
I love Easter.
No, but it's got these years flown.
I know, but it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been a great year.
I lie.
So, we'll be on Riverside next week, virtual, because I will be down in the country, away again.
Away again.
Like every other week.
Yes, she will be away
Apologies. Again. But yeah. We make it work.
And we'll make it work.
And if you like this episode, don't forget to...
like, subscribe, swipe up.
Swipe right.
Like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, view, all of the above.
Download.
Also, we always say we like feedback as well. Please, so give us some feedback.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.